I stared at my phone, the screen frozen on a blocked profile. The message read, "This user has been removed from the platform for suspicious activity." I sank onto my workbench, the cold metal edge digging into my palms. $15,000. Gone. Every penny I'd saved for that 1969 Mustang engine I'd been dreaming about for years just vanished into thin air. And the worst part, I'd been talking to her for 2 months. We were supposed to meet next week. She was going to fly out to see me. I felt my face burning with a rage I hadn't felt since the day my husband died and left me to raise 2 teenagers alone. No. I told myself I was smarter than this. I fix engines, I don't get tricked by online promises. But here I was, staring at a fake profile, my savings drained. My hand was shaking as I scrolled up through the messages, all the sweet words, the promises, the shared dreams. They were just bait, and I took every single one. The loneliness after my kids left was suffocating. I thought I'd finally found a connection, someone who understood the quiet ache of being alone. But I was just a mark, a pig they were fattening for slaughter. I scrolled past the photos she sent, beautiful pictures of a woman in her 30s on a beach. It was a lie. Everything was a lie. My dog, an old shepherd mix named Max, whined at my feet. He knew something was wrong. I whispered to him, I was so stupid, the words scraping out of my throat. I set the phone down, face down, as if I could block out the truth. The bitter taste of shame flooded my mouth. I was 60, not naive. My kids were going to kill me. But let me back up. You need to understand how I got here. Quick note, names and platforms are changed to protect real victims. But the scam, the money, and the pain, all real. This isn't financial advice. Now, let me show you how this nightmare began.
My name is Sarah, and until a few months ago, my life was just quiet. I own a small auto repair shop I inherited from my father. It's just me and a rusty old lift in a building that's seen better days.
It's honest work, and it kept me busy after my husband passed. But when my daughter moved to Australia for work, and my son got busy with his own life, the shop became a tomb of silence. At night, I'd go home to a house that felt too big, eat dinner with just the TV for company. I loved being a mom and a wife. That was my whole world. When that world got smaller, I didn't know what to do with myself. One night, scrolling through my phone, I saw an ad for a dating site. Find connection. It felt like a lifeline. I told myself I wasn't looking for Prince Charming, just someone to talk to, someone who'd ask how my day was, instead of just barking orders for a brake job. The profile I created was simple. Widow, loves classic cars, looking for a genuine friend. I uploaded a photo of me holding a carburetor. I thought it was a good shot, showed my real self. It took a few days to get a match. I almost gave up. Then came the first message. Hey there, you have beautiful hands. Not many women get their hands dirty like that. It was the first time in years a man had called me beautiful. I couldn't help but smile. I felt a tiny spark of life I thought had died out a long time ago. It felt good. Too good. That's when she contacted me. We moved from the dating site to a messaging app called BonChat in a few days. She said she was a professional photographer from a major city, traveling a lot for work. Her name was Elena. Her photos showed a vibrant woman, always smiling, always somewhere exotic. She sent me pictures of sunsets in Bali, of busy streets in Paris. My world was greasy coveralls and $200 oil changes. Her world was beautiful and exciting, and she was inviting me into it from miles away. "I love that you're a mechanic," she wrote. "You're not afraid of hard work. That's rare." It made my heart flutter in a way it hadn't in a decade. She asked about my kids, my shop. She listened and remembered little details I'd mentioned. She told me that I was beautiful inside and out. I knew it was fast, but I was starved for validation. I didn't question it. She was so easy to talk to. I felt like I could tell her anything. She told me she'd been in a bad relationship, that she was looking for a kind, stable partner. She never asked me for money, not once. That's what made it feel real. But I didn't know that then. I was just happy to feel wanted. It made it feel like fate. This wonderful, adventurous woman had chosen me, the quiet mechanic from a small suburb. I was an expert at rebuilding engines, but I had no idea I was being rebuilt into a target. The days started to feel shorter. I would rush through my work just to get home and talk to her. I felt like a teenager again. She was the first thing I thought of in the morning. Then she told me about the investment opportunity. It was subtle at first. She mentioned she'd made some money on a platform called Prime Chain. "It's a way to secure your future," she said. "I only put in a little, just to see. I was thinking of you, Sarah. You work so hard. You deserve to have a break." It didn't sound like a pitch. It sounded like a friend looking out for me. I was skeptical. I mean, I fix cars for a living. I don't understand how these things work. But she was patient. She walked me through it, step by step. "Just try a small amount, babe," she said. "What's the worst that could happen?" I think she knew I was a sucker for the word babe coming from her. I transferred $500 from my checking account to this Prime Chain app. I was sweating as I did it. The next morning, I checked my phone, and the balance had gone up. I had made $50 overnight. "See?" she messaged me. "Just like magic." I felt this huge wave of relief. It had worked. I had done something right for once. The money was real, or at least it looked real on the screen. That small win changed everything. It made me feel smart, like I was part of her world. She made me feel like we were building something together, a future. "Imagine what we could do with a little more investment," she typed. I looked at the app, at the growing number. My carefully saved engine fund suddenly seemed like it was just sitting there, doing nothing. It wasn't about greed. I lied to myself. It was about securing our future. I was all in now. That night I couldn't sleep. I kept staring at the app screen, watching those fake numbers climb. I knew I was being reckless, but I didn't care. She made me feel alive. If you've ever rushed into something online, type A armor in the comments, because what happened next broke something inside me. Elena was patient. She didn't push. That was her genius. She just kept painting this picture of a future for us. "Once my next assignment is done, I could come see you," she said. "We could travel, Sarah. We could see the world." I imagined us in Greece, in Italy. Not here, in the Greece and the loneliness. "I know you, Sarah. You're the kind of person who deserves a comfortable retirement." She was right. I'd been working on cars since I was 16. I was tired. I wanted to see my grandkids, not wear out my back changing tires. So I made the decision. I moved $15,000 into the platform. It was a huge chunk of my savings, the money my husband left me. It took me 5 years to put that away, but it felt right because it was for us. I transferred it while sitting at my kitchen table, a glass of wine beside me. She called me the minute I hit send. "I'm so proud of you, babe. You just made the best decision of your life." I felt like the world was opening up to me. The app showed my balance climbing. It grew from $15,000 to $17,000 overnight. I was a genius. I was going to be rich. I started planning the Mustang build. A new engine, a custom paint job, the works. She even called me to share in my excitement. I didn't notice the small withdrawal fees she had mentioned. They were so small, I didn't think anything of it. And the profits were just too good to be true. But I was too far gone. I was in love with the dream. Then, I tried to withdraw some of the money. I wasn't greedy. I just wanted to buy a new set of tools for the shop. I went to my Prime Chain account and clicked Withdraw. A message popped up. Processing fee required. Please send $300 to unlock your transaction. It was strange, but Elena had mentioned fees before. "It's just a blockchain thing," she said. I paid it. I figured it was part of the process. The next day, another request. Conversion fee, $500. My heart started pounding. This is where I should have stopped. But Elena was right there. "It's the last one, babe. They just need to verify the funds." I paid that too. I was terrified, but I wanted to believe her. Then, the requests kept coming. They asked for more and more. Network fee, verification fee, tax clearance. I paid the first fee. Then they asked for another and another. I was trapped in a loop. It was like being in a pinball machine, just getting bounced around. I told Elena I was worried. She was upset with me. "We're doing this together, Sarah. Don't get cold feet now." She turned it around on me. "Do you trust me or not?" Of course I trusted her. She was the only good thing in my life. I didn't want to lose her. Emotion, desperation. So I paid. I drained my emergency fund. I asked my son for a loan, telling him it was for a business expense. The lie tasted like ash in my mouth, but I kept going. I had sent $15,000, and now I'd sent another $1,500 in hidden fees. And then the app glitched. The numbers froze. The balance went blank, and Elena's profile vanished. She was gone. The last message from her read, "This account has been deactivated." I was alone. I tried to log into Prime Chain. It wouldn't load. I clicked the link she gave me, the one I'd been visiting for months. It was dead. A 404 not found page greeted me. I refreshed it 20 times, thinking it was a mistake. I checked the App Store. The app had been removed. I called my bank. "Ma'am, the money has been transferred to an offshore account." They couldn't do anything. I sat in my truck in the parking lot, gripping the steering wheel so tight my knuckles turned white. I went home and scrolled through our messages one last time. Her perfect photos, her poetic words. It was all a script. There was no Elena. She was a ghost, a digital phantom created to drain my savings. I felt cold, not sad, just a hollow emptiness. I looked at myself in the bathroom mirror. The person looking back had just borrowed $15,000 to pay a scammer. Again. I hated her. I hated myself more. I called my son, crying so hard I could barely speak. "Dad, are you okay? What's wrong?" My voice broke. I was scammed, honey. I made a terrible mistake. The silence on the other end of the line was worse than the yelling I expected. He was in shock. "Mom, those are scammers. How did you not see it?" I didn't have an answer. I just sat on the kitchen floor, my dog licking my face. The tears came, hot and fast. I had lost my husband's savings. I had lied to my children. I had been so desperately lonely, I'd let a stranger steal my future. That was just the beginning of the nightmare. Telling my son was the hardest thing I've ever done. He flew out to visit me, afraid I might do something drastic. I saw the pity in his eyes as he walked into my house. It made me feel so small. "I didn't know you were talking to anyone online, Mom. Why didn't you tell me?" I couldn't explain it to him. How could I? I was a grown woman, a business owner. I should have known better. He was angry, not just at the scammers, but at me. "I told you to be careful with your money, Mom. You've been working so hard." The worst part was knowing I had no one to blame but myself. My shop was still there, but it felt different. The grease on my hands was a reminder of how hard I'd worked for that money. The Mustang project I'd been saving for was dead. It would never happen now. I felt a surge of anger that was so strong it made me dizzy. I wanted to find her. I wanted to scream at her. I wanted to break something. But she was just a profile, just a ghost. She didn't exist. My son set up a meeting with a financial counselor to help me budget my way out of the hole. He didn't yell at me. He held my hand. He said, "Mom, you're the strongest person I know. You can get through this." His kindness was harder to bear than his anger. Emotion. Resolve. I made a decision that night. I wasn't going to bury myself in shame. I was going to get help. And I was going to make sure this didn't happen to anyone else. The recovery isn't fast. It's a slow grind, like rebuilding a transmission from scratch. You can't just pop the hood and fix everything with one tool. No. I started going to a grief support group. It was meant for widows, but it became a place where I could talk about my loneliness. I realized that's what this scam preyed on. The void. I wasn't looking for money. I was looking for a hand to hold. My son and I started talking every weekend. I started saving again. $10 a week. It's not much, but it's a start. I still think about Elena sometimes, not with love, but with a kind of grim fascination. She was a ghost, but the scars she left are real. Looking back, 3 things should have stopped me. First, she rushed the intimacy. We were soulmates within a week. Real love takes time. Second, she moved the conversation to a private app. That's where the manipulation happens, away from the eyes of the platform. Third, she talked about guaranteed returns. Nothing is guaranteed. Those red flags were right in front of my face, but I chose not to see them. I share my story now, not because I'm proud, but because I know others are sitting in the same silence I was. They think they're too smart to be tricked, just like I did. I'm putting my armor back on, piece by piece. It's not about being bitter. No, it's about being smart. It's about protecting the future I still have left. Because the best revenge against a ghost is to live a good life. If this story hit close to home, don't let it happen to you. I made the Master Scammer Detection Kit. Link in the description. Free checklists, red flags, step-by-step protection. Everything I wish I'd known. And if you want more real scam stories every week, hit subscribe and the bell. Stay safe out there.